Long time, and some of the greatest horses in the past have won these races. The honour roll is indeed a special one. Keith Hillier joins us this morning. Keith, we saw a pretty special winner of the Memsie yesterday at Caulfield.
Yes, the Derby winners of last year, Naturalism, who won the AJC Derby, and Star of the Realm, Victoria Derby winner, fought out the finish. Naturalism far too good on the day. I think we're going to look forward to some more clashes of these two very special horses, Bruce.
No question about that. And Max Presnell, who joins us from Sydney. The Chelmsford's had some magnificent winners in the past. Dr. Grace is not quite at the top of that tree, but he's a grand old horse, isn't he?
Yes, the Chelmsford has also, Bruce, had some magnificent defeats, some unlucky runs, and this again was the case yesterday. Superimpose should have won the race.
Your quick thoughts on the Memsie Stakes. Viewing it on closed circuit from Sydney, you've seen a lot of Naturalism. In fact, until yesterday, you'd seen the best of Naturalism.
Yes, I do think Naturalism, though, Bruce, has been unlucky in Melbourne, and I wouldn't say that Naturalism is going to always have that much, shall we say, space to spare over Star of the Realm. I don't think there's a great deal between them. Perhaps yesterday Caulfield suited Naturalism more than Star of the Realm.
Your thoughts, Keith, on upcoming duels between these two four-year-olds?
I agree with Max, Bruce. I think that, especially when they get to Flemington, that the margin will be narrowed, may go the other way. Also, other big racing yesterday in New Zealand, last year's Cox Plate winner, Surface Paradise, won at Hastings in the presence of the Japan Racing Association delegates, and Royal Magic, who won the Oaks and the Derby in Queensland, also won in New Zealand. So action aplenty there. And in Adelaide, a favourite won but lost the race when a 2-kilo lead bag was left in the stalls. The trainer and the jockey are $1,000 lighter. The owners, $9,500 in prize money lighter, and goodness knows how much money punters lost.
Yes, it's extraordinary that that could still happen in 1992. But the big story was the Memsie Stakes yesterday. Let's go to Caulfield.
And Grooming on the inside was the first into stride, and missing the start by 10 lengths is Starring. Starring's missed the start by 10 lengths, and Durbridge began very quickly on the outside and goes to the front. And racing up the hill at the 1200, Durbridge by a length to Naturalism on the outside of Ivory Way. Cracking back is close handy there, followed by a Kushla Maria. Length and a half further back then over on the outside to Isla, being followed by Grooming, and back along the rails then further back Star of the Realm. Close in behind the Mr. Eurostar, followed by Graydon Gambler, and tailing the field now. After that slow start is Starring. On the railway side, they race with about 850 to go, and Durbridge the leader. A half length to Naturalism, a length and a half Ivory Way on the inside of Kraken back at Isla. They're followed by Grooming on the inside of a Kushla Marie, and going forward out 3 deep on the track, Mr. Eurostar. Star of the Realm is back behind them, being followed by Starring second last, and Graydon Gambler last of all at the 600. Durbridge being joined by Naturalism, and wider on the track is Isla. Ivory Way is just in behind them, followed by Kraken back and Mr. Eurostar, a length and a half a Kushla Marie. Taken around the outside, Star of the Realm being followed by Grooming, Starring second last, and Graydon Gambler last of all as they straighten up. Durbridge on the inside being headed by Naturalism, and they're together coming down towards the 250, and on the outside Naturalism has hit the front from Durbridge, Ivory Way, and further back then is Island. Down the outside is Star of the Realm, but Naturalism with a big break with 100 metres left to go. Star of the Realm is starting to fly home when the race is all over, but Naturalism is much too good and wins it brilliantly. Naturalism won the Sky Channel Memsie by 3 lengths to Star of the Realm. Durbridge is third.
Yes, as Keith mentioned, a Derby winner beating another Derby winner, and another Derby winner was third, Durbridge winning the AJC. The big question, who will be riding Naturalism in the Fian in 2 weeks' time?
That was put to Lee Friedman after the race. He said, Bruce, that Mick Dittman will probably start to phone him more than he's been phoning Mick. In the meantime, Simon Marshall, who did an admirable job yesterday, is hoping he can keep warming the saddle.
Yes, Dittman would be favoured at this stage to keep the ride. You'd say Durbridge is safely held. Ivory Way from a Cup's point of view?
A little disappointing, quite disappointing in fact. He hasn't seen the winner's stall for a long time. He was runner-up in the Caulfield Cup. Star of the Realm, I thought that there's going to be some great wins ahead of him. He's the one that is shaping up for the Cups. Naturalism, be careful of him in your Cups doubles. His probable path is the Fian, then the Caulfield Stakes and the Cox Plate. He may miss both Cups.
OK, so watch for Naturalism, and we'll see what the market's doing in the Cups later. The Chelmsford yesterday, the sad news, there were two very sad pieces of news during the week. Noel Barker, of course, awful news. Max, you would have known Noel over a period of time. He'd had great success in Hong Kong. He rode Riverdale to outstanding success in the Epsom and the Honda, and he was involved in a terrible fall in the trials and unfortunately passed away during the week. So it was a great loss to racing, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was, Bruce. Noel was a gentle jockey, a gentleman and a gentleman. His loss, as you said, it is sadly felt, and of course we extend our sympathies to Noel's family.
The Chelmsford yesterday. Let's go and have a look at the race, Max, and I'll get you to comment afterwards because we have a head-on and it shows some interesting occurrences over the last 100 metres. Here's the Chelmsford superimposed, looking quite unlucky.
Now they're picking up a little bit, and Barnia Boy increasing the tempo, got away by 2 to Dr. Grace, a length and a quarter to Superimpose, a neck away on the outside, Quick Score. Cassidy's going to try and hold him in behind those leaders, and 2.5 to Valdano, last of the 5 as they race down the side, 700 out. The leader is Barnia Boy, Dr. Grace sneaking closer, a length to Superimpose and a half to Quick Score on the outside, and about 3 to Valdano as they near the turn. This is a battle of tactics, and coming to the corner, Barnia Boy led over Dr. Grace, Quick Score on the outside, Superimpose on the fence as they turn for home, and Valdano last about 7 off the lead. Coming over the rise, Barnia Boy clear of Dr. Grace. Superimposes hemmed in on the fence. He's got nowhere to go, and now Quick Score called upon by Cassidy is coming out after the leader. Superimpose had to stop in his tracks, and they've left him standing. Quick Score headed Dr. Grace, who's fighting back. Old Super is getting going when it's all over. Dr. Grace fighting back. He's got Quick Score beaten, and Dr. Grace wins the Chelmsford by a head to Quick Score with Superimpose 30.
Good day for ex-AJC Derby winners yesterday, Max. They were everywhere, and Dr. Grace in particular in Sydney winning the Chelmsford. You've brought in the head-on over the last couple of 100 metres, and it shows a couple of interesting things. One, Superimpose obviously not being able to get a clear run, and Shane Dye having some problems on the winner. Yes,
his whip became tangled in the mane. He couldn't really get at Dr. Grace, but so over the latter stages he just left the whip in the mane and then just slapped Dr. Grace down the shoulder. You can see that now, but certainly Superimpose was the unlucky runner. Chris Muntz played the thimble and pea with a couple of New Zealanders, Jim Cassidy and Shane Dye, and of course when you play the thimble and pea you can't win.
The thimble and pea, what do you mean by that, Max?
Well, of course, you're a little bit young, Bruce, but you get 3 thimbles, you've got to find the pea. Chris went looking for the rails run, which was never going to be there, but I'll give him some sort of a break. As he pointed out to stewards, the only option he had was at the 800 metres to pull out and go around from there. Now, he was instructed that Superimpose only has a short sprint. He felt that had he have gone back and around at the 800 metres, he would have fully extended that short sprint and he would have been beaten. But he does concede that had Superimpose got a run in the straight, he would have been lucky. But again, Bruce, jockeys have got to make their own luck. Chris didn't yesterday, but I'm sure he's learned by the experience.
You can't just pull out and sit, Max, obviously. I can't believe that. I mean, you don't have to make a run at the 800. You can just sit, can't you?
If the others will allow you to do so, Bruce, but there again, he would have had to stay in touch with Quick Score and, of course, Dr. Grace. Dr. Grace is a true racehorse. You can't give him too much start. Therefore, they were dictating terms to him. Again, I'm not trying to put a cushion under Chris Muntz because I don't think he rode the horse well. But Superimpose has been beaten so much at weight for age because he's not versatile. He's got to be held up for a sprint.
Well, the jockeys call you chestnuts, Max. You're always ready to roast. But I've got to agree with you on this occasion. We should not be charitable to Chris Muntz because maybe Superimpose on the day had the ability to win, but on the day his rider did not give him the breaks to win. OK, there was a bubble bursting yesterday. Let's go and have a look at it. The favourite, the Golden Slipper winner from last season, and she is struggling. Her name is Burst.
Skating is second, Yodelay running third, followed by Stay in Bloom. Burst is travelling 3 deep. On the fence, Mahia, who struck a little bit of trouble on the first corner. Further back, Grenadier Grey, followed by Janole and Princess Dawn as last as they come down the side. About 600 metres out, Flitter the leader over Yodelay, and Burst is travelling 3 deep, but she's right on top of the pace. Skating on the fence behind those, and then Stay in Bloom, followed by Mahia, and then Grenadier Grey and Princess Dawn, and Janole as last as they swing the corner. Into the straight now, it's a sprint home, and Flitter just led Yodelay. Burst a length away on the outside is now shaken up by Dye, and then Skating with nowhere to go at the moment, followed by Stay in Bloom. Coming to the 200 mark, Flitter and Yodelay are the 2 leaders. He's got to pull the whip on Burst, and now Skating has switched to the extreme outside. This short price favourite struggling a bit. Yodelay in the centre has the head in front over Burst, and flying down the outside is Skating, but in a boil over, Yodelay wins the Furious. Yodelay has won from Flitter on the inside in a photo for second with Skating wide out, and Burst is in that photo for the minors, followed by Mahia.
Well, Max, we've got to do what Burst didn't do yesterday. That's accelerate. What did you think of her, quickly?
I didn't think it was such a bad run, but she hasn't got the margin over the 3-year-olds she had over the 2-year-olds. Mick Dittman anyway wasn't impressed because he was approached after the race to ride Burst if Shane Dye wasn't available, and he said, "I'll stick to Yodelay, thank you."
Gee, that is interesting. Well, there was another filly yesterday resuming who Burst seemed to have the measure of as a 2-year-old, but I doubt whether she will now. Her name is Slight Chance. She took on the Colts in the Roman Consul.
Atlantic Brave took a clear-cut lead over Monsieur with the inside running, Facile third, then Winning Combo and Clocker followed by Ken Fair. Centre Kima has to make the turn about 4 deep, and Slight Chances hemmed in on the fence as they come over the rise die trying to find room. Atlantic Brave again joined by Monsieur, who takes a narrow lead on top of the hill. They're clear of Facile and Clocker. Slight Chance not getting much room, followed by Winning Combo and Centre Kima. Facile hit the lead 100 out. Here's the filly. Slight Chance into the clear by. Gee, this is a win. She put paid to Facile in one stride, and she won't raise a sweat. She's come back $1 million. Slight Chance beat Facile. Third's close, Clocker or Centre Kima.
So, Max, is not quite the Queen is dead Burst. Long live the Queen, Slight Chance. But do you think she's taken her place?
Yes, I do, and Slight Chance is headed to Melbourne. The only thing that'll stop Slight Chance from going down there in the next week or so is appalling weather, which Melbourne has a reputation.
Oh, cut it out, Max.
Certainly Slight Chance is something right out of the box, and you're going to be fortunate to see it there firsthand.
If she clashes with Burst, Max, which way will Shane Dye go?
I don't know which way Shane Dye will go, but I would go Slight Chance, and I get the impression that Shane Dye will do the same, Keith.
OK, so Shane Dye to go with Slight Chance as far as Max Presnell's concerned. The Caulfield Cup markets, Viander Cross retains his favouritism. Star of the Realm and Naturalism are very tight, and Dr Grace has come in a bit. And for the Melbourne Cup, My Eagle Eye is second favourite to Viander Cross. Star of the Realm is very, very steady at 12 to 1. Max, thanks for that. Bad luck about Shaftesbury Avenue too. That was a bad bit of news during the week. He's going to miss the spring and maybe the autumn. We'll catch you next week, Max, and look forward to reading your columns in the Sydney Morning Herald.
Has Max gone?
Max has gone,
Good,
yeah.
because we've got glue in shoes okayed in Victoria now.
Yes, well done, Max. Love the tie this week.
This is the new tie, Max. It's the Moonee Valley Cox Plate tie. It depicts the colours of all the Cox Plate winners, Bruce. And Cox Plate, October 24, the week after Caulfield Cup.
How far do you go back on that, Keith?
Seen them all, just about, Brucey.
You're a young fellow once. Keith Hillier and Max Presnell. Keith, of course, from 3 years there. We take a break, and after the break, we're talking to Kathy Watt, who's just returned to Australia.